I got my all-natural white boy afro to look like this without using a straightener or chemicals. Here's how I did it. Alright, straight up, the goal is to loosen and stretch the curls and have your hairstyle the correct shape. To achieve this first bit, we're going to use weight. Alright, step 1, know your hair type. You have 3 things you need to know about your hair. Its curliness, texture, and density. You can find out your hair's type of curl by looking at a hair type chart, which has 4 numbers and 3 letters each. Your hair may be predominantly one and a little bit of the other. My hair is 3C. Now the higher the number and letter, aka the curlier it is, the more effort is needed. Texture means how wide an individual strand of hair is. The coarser or thicker, as I personally like to call it, the more weight your hair will have. Mine is coarse. Density refers to how many hairs cover a given surface area. The denser, aka the thicker it is, the more likely you'll get an afro and your hair will flare out. Mine is about as dense as the putting greens on a golf course. So that's to say it's thick and I look like Napoleon. Cool, now that we know our hair type, it's time to get it wet. Shake off any excess water like a wet dog and just lightly go through it with a towel and slick it all the way back. Be gentle with it, okay? To loosen, stretch, and add weight to those curls, we're going to use hair products. These hair products are just what I personally use because I don't take any sponsors. So that being said, the only way to support this channel is by joining the Patreon, where there's exclusive videos, podcasts, and other awesome goodies. I'll see you there, my homies. Now start with a good conditioner. I always use Pete and Pedro. It's the best I've used so far. Apply the conditioner all the way through as you normally would. You could wash some of it out in the shower, but I don't. Next is the frizz control and straightening serum. This is actually optional as I started applying this later on, but if you have a problem with frizz or getting it loose, this may be a good option for you, but it's not necessary at all. Run it through, loosening your curls as you do. Add more conditioner if you like, just don't spill it like a toddler with a ketchup bottle. Now the most important, Cantu shea butter. This is the stuff that puts in the work and does the job. If you don't get any other product I mention, please get this. This stuff adds weight and keeps it in shape like nothing else. Add it all the way through, making sure you're getting the ends. I start on the back and work my way up front. And be liberal with this stuff. The more you add, the more it'll stay in place while drying and the longer your hairstyle will last. First layer goes all the way through, the rest is more layered on the top. Great, now that you got your products in, you gotta figure out how you're actually gonna get this to stay in place while it dries. If you think a hand dryer is a good idea, drop it, cause it isn't. It'll make your hair frizzy and it's hard to dry evenly. So we got 2 options, air dry and hood dryer. Let's start with the hood dryer. Add a hairband to keep your hair in place and give it a wave or 2 so that it isn't super straight on top. And this is a hood dryer. Now, yes, I know you'll probably look stupid under this thing like some old grandma at a salon, but you know what? Who cares anyway? Because it gets the job done in the best manner possible. There's no other better option to dry your hair than this thing. Now, it will cost you a pretty penny if you do get one. I mean, this one costs just under $70 on Amazon. And the cheapest I've seen, is like around $60, but that's because inflation pretty much doubled the prices on these. Ugh. But you know what? It doesn't matter because they'll last you a really long time unless, you know, you're hitting it like a freaking chimp, but you're not going to do that because you're not a chimp. So this should last you a good long while and you're going to forget about that $70 price point. And you know what? It's really fun when you use this because you can just sit under it and while you're waiting, drink some coffee or read a book. I don't know what the heck you want to do. But yeah, it's the best option. So go get one. When it's dry enough to keep in place without a hairband, remove it to let the back side dry better. And when it's about 90% dry, stop the hood dryer and shake it like a bobblehead. With my hair, drying takes me about 30 to 40 minutes. When styling, you're looking for balance, asymmetry. I tuck one side behind my ear and the other side hanging more in front. And this is why you want those waves in the front when it's slicked back, because otherwise it'll be too straight on the top, flat, and look really off. Now let's try the cheapest and freest option. Air dry. Put it in a bun and wait, preferably in the sun. Get that vitamin D, it'll be quicker too. When it's about 90% dry on the top, drop the hairband just a bit to let that part dry, or even better yet, take the whole thing out and don't shake your hair until the back is mostly dry. My hair type keeps it wet all day if I keep it in a bun.
You know, honestly, this isn't that bad considering that it's my first time doing it in this method. It's not the most efficient, and it's humid and hot out, and I'm starting to sweat. And especially with my hair type, I'm actually surprised it looks as good as it does using this method. And like I said, this is good, but I would prefer to use the dryer. It makes it a lot easier.
I also have this Diva Curl Super Stretch, which sounds really stupid when I say it, but who cares? Let's see what air drying looks with just this one product.
Not bad at all considering it's just one product in my hair. Now, it did take around 2 hours, 45 minutes to dry, but I was inside most of the time for that, and I should have been outside. I think it would have been a lot faster in its drying process. Now, it is a sunny day, and there's not much humidity at all, so it is going to be better and more effective than the day previously, but still, I'm just going to see how it is for most of the day and see if it actually holds up.
Now later that day it did curl up a bit, but it still looked decent enough, and you can always use hairspray in humid weather to keep it more in place. Regardless, the real winner hands down is the first method, but none of them will ever look good if you ignore this. The shape. The shape is called the new triangle cut, but it's really hexagonal, and this is achieved with layers. If you don't have layers, you will get a triangle or the pyramid cut, and that will look awful. Get long diagonal layers that frame your face so the curls sit into each other. Tell that to your hairstylist. I grew my hair out from this for a whole year until I got my first dry cut, but it was more of a trim. But as cool as this Italian or even 10th century illuminated manuscript style goes, the fact that it looks like this with no products means I'm rocking an afro on beach days.